Good afternoon, all of you. Hope you can hear me. Abhinav, can you hear me, beta? Kumar, can you hear me, Abhinav? Please let me know if you can hear me. So today we are going to discuss fourth ventricle, beta. Okay. Where do we see fourth ventricle? See, this is brain stem, right? Where we have midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. So behind the midbrain pons, so this is the ventral aspect, and this is the dorsal aspect, or the posterior aspect of the brain stem, and this is cerebellum. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, beta.
Have you started just now?
Just started. This is the first slide. We are with objectives
Okay.
only. Just.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is the under surface of the cerebellum. Okay. So fourth ventricle is a cavity which is situated between the brainstem and cerebellum. We will see the boundaries. We will see the recesses and applied aspects. Now, when we were doing embryology, you remember like whole of the brain is developing from three brain cycles. No, what are those? I told you PMR, prosencephalon, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon. Prosencephalon further subdivides into telencephalon and diencephalon. Okay, here we have midbrain, and then this is the rhombencephalon further subdivides into mitten and myelencephalon. Now, why I am keeping this slide again is when you just see at this neural tube which has fused to form the whole brain and finally the spinal cord, you are finding there is a cavity created in between. Okay, this cavity is nothing but the ventricular system. So if the yellow one is, if you think this is cerebrum, inside the cerebrum, the ventricular system, what we have are two lateral ventricles, in right cerebral hemisphere one, left cerebral hemisphere one. Then between the two thalami, we have one more ventricle which is called as third ventricle. Okay, then through cerebral aqueduct, behind the brainstem and below the cerebellum, you have one more ventricle, that is fourth ventricle. That means this ventricular system is continuous. The fourth ventricle is in continuation with central canal of spinal cord. Okay, that is. So that's what is written here, beta. So cavities of vesicles form ventricular system in adult brain. Okay, these are the cavities which are forming the ventricles. Now, if you observe, this is the superolateral surface of the brain. Okay, in the superolateral surface inside, when you cut and see, you will see this is lateral ventricle. Okay, this is interventricular foramen of Monro. Then this is the third ventricle. Then this is aqueduct of Sylvius. This is fourth ventricle, and this is the central canal of spinal cord. Okay, we are seeing two cerebral hemispheres separately, like they are placed separately. Then you are finding this is one lateral ventricle, the other lateral ventricle, interventricular foramen. Okay, third ventricle. Red one is fourth ventricle, and this is the central canal of spinal cord. Okay, so this primary brain vesicles I already discussed. Now you are understanding. So how is that? This is completely ventricular system. Okay, so this is completely lateral ventricle, interventricular foramen, third ventricle, cerebral aqueduct, fourth ventricle, and central canal of spinal cord. Is that clear? Now, what is present inside the ventricular system? We have CSF. Okay, and the CSF is clear, colorless fluid that is surrounding and permeating the cells. That means in the subarachnoid space also we have CSF. Inside the ventricular system also we have CSF. That's how it is giving protection and also nourishment. You can see even glucose is also present in the CSF. That's how it's nourishment also. Okay. It's the essence, like the brain is actually floating in it. Okay. Let us see the circulation of CSF from this picture. So here in this cerebral hemisphere inside we have lateral ventricle. No? From the lateral ventricle, interventricular foramen, CSF moves to third ventricle. From third third ventricle cerebral aqueduct, it moves to fourth ventricle. From fourth ventricle, it is entering into central canal. Now, when we talk about fourth ventricle, we will see it has three openings. Now, as we proceed in today's class, we will see foramen of Lashka and foramen of Magendie. Okay, so through which the CSF will be entering in the subarachnoid space. That's what is the circulation of CSF. So we know it's a protective cushion between the CNS and surrounding bones in adult. And generally, how much is the quantity? 150 ml, out of which only 30 ml is in ventricular system. The rest of the 120 ml is present in subarachnoid space. Okay. This is all again circulation flow chart. The like within the ventricular system and in the subarachnoid space, the place or the point through which it can communicate is foramen of Lashka and Magendie. Okay. See, this is flow chart, lateral ventricle, interventricular foramen of Monro. From there, it is moving to third ventricle, then mesencephalic aqueduct of Sylvius, fourth ventricle, central canal of spine. From there into subarachnoid space also. Now, see, this picture I kept when I was discussing dural venous sinuses also. These are the layers of scalp. This is skull bone, micro area, dura mater, arachnoid matter, and paramater. So you are finding in the subarachnoid space, we know we have CSF and there are the arachnoid villi. So arachnoid villi are the structures which are generally observing the CSF. So many pictures are kept showing the layers of scalp. Now this is Vishwan Singh's picture. You can draw this if you find it simple. Midbrain, pons and medulla. This is the undersurface of cerebellum and this bluish area is nothing but fourth ventricle. Inside we have this choroid plexus. Okay, for the purpose of formation of CSF. Okay, now coming to like it is overall a tent-like cavity in the hindbrain, which is situated in the posterior cranial fossa. Okay, location, it is having cerebellum in front, pons like here, pons and medulla oblongata behind. So it is lined with ependymal cells and it is filled with CSF. Okay, so cerebellum class is not yet over. So this is the superior view and this is the inferior view. Okay. So generally below the inferior surface you will find the CSF, like fourth ventricle. So this is the inferior surface of cerebellum. Now under what headings do we need to learn this? We should know what are the recesses, what are the angles, openings, how is the roof formed, how is the floor formed, and what is the applied anatomy. That is C. Let's start with the recesses. So overall, recesses means I have been telling you, when we were doing ischiorectal fossa also, I told you recess means extension. When we do third ventricle also, you will come to know. Wherever we find like the space is extending, you use the word recesses. So in case of fourth ventricle, how many recesses do we have? We have 5 recesses. Okay. So these 2 recesses are situated superior laterally. We call them as lateral recess. Okay, one recess will be in the midline, which is medial dorsal recess, and the other 2 recesses we have, those are the 2 lateral dorsal recesses. Okay, so recesses are nothing but extensions. One on each side lies. So now to be like exactly if we want to speak. So basically cerebellum will have 3 peduncles, no, superior, middle and inferior cerebellar peduncle. Superior cerebellar peduncle connects the midbrain to cerebellum, middle connects pons to cerebellum, inferior cerebellar peduncle connects medulla to cerebellum. Okay, so lateral recesses, they are actually present in the inferior cerebellar peduncle ventrically. Okay, this flocculus we will learn when we are doing cerebellum. Okay, obviously, so laterally the recesses is, they are also showing openings. What are the openings? These openings are called as
Lashka and
foramen of Lashka, okay, through which you are finding choroid plexus is also bulging out. Okay, so this is all roof. So in the roof you are finding this is T-shaped choroid plexus. Okay, and this is actually lateral recess where you are finding 2 openings. What is the name given here? The 2 openings? Foramen of
Lashka.
Lashka. Okay. Then you are finding in the midline there is one more opening in the roof. What is this? Foramen of Magendie.
Magendie.
Ramana, Pushka and Magandy are the openings through which the CSF is actually circulating within the ventricular system to the subarachnoid space. Okay, this particular part is actually taken from roof because you are finding superior medullary velum. These are all white matter extensions to find. Okay, this is midline extension, median dorsal races, extends into white core of cerebellum. Lies just above the nodule part of the cerebellum. Nodule is one of the parts of cerebellum. Okay, these are the two, this side, one lateral versus this side. That means you have just cut a part, whole of this area of the cerebellum is removed, a part of it is left over and it is reflected to show the floor of the fourth ventricle in fact. And here also you can see the lateral extension, that is the two lateral dorsal recesses. Okay. So different pictures are kept. Then we have two angles in the fourth ventricle. What are those? One is the angle which is above superior angle. Below we have inferior angle. So superior is in continuation above with cerebral aqueduct of midbrain. Inferior is in continuation below with the central canal of the closed part of medulla oblongata. Whatever is given in Vishram Singh theory part is not sufficient. You take the help of my PowerPoints, which definitely I'll share very shortly. Okay, or else you read from Chaurasya, neuroanatomy part, because this can be an essay question and the content is given in a very short form, which is not sufficient. The continuation of head and neck in neuroanatomy in Vishram Singh is not good. Separate Vishram Singh book if you are already following, you can go with that. I've been telling you that is very important. Okay, use proper book to learn neuroanatomy. These are the two lateral angles, one on each side, carried outwards. Okay, there you have the lateral.
Ma'am,
What
what
is
is this question, ma'am? Like
fourth
the
ventricle?
question.
Direct question it comes.
Okay. Okay.
There is no twist here. Directly you will get question fourth ventricle. Describe
Okay.
fourth ventricle in detail. It comes as an essay question. That's it. Okay. This is the roof, which is tent shaped and it has upper and lower sloping surfaces. This is the apex of the tent, which is extending into the white matter of the cerebellum. This is apex. Okay. So this you will understand. This point you will understand with the help of picture. In fact, this is the superior cerebellar peduncle. Like how is it formed? It is formed. The upper part of the roof is formed by the convergence of this area. This is all white matter. You call it a superior medullary velum, okay, which is like supported laterally by superior cerebellar peduncle. Just now I told you superior cerebellar peduncle is connecting midbrain to cerebellum. So this is the triangular area. Okay. Call it a superior medullary velum. Lower part we do not have any white matter. Directly you have choroid plexus over there. Okay, a capillary network which is actually secreting or synthesizing CSF. That means from the capillaries under high pressure you will see the plasma only is leaking into this empty space like a clear fluid like water, that is nothing but CSF. Continuing with the roof, this I told you is superior medullary velum. It's labeled here. Bridges this triangular gap, okay, between these two cerebellar peduncles, yellow ones. Between two yellow ones, we have superior medullary velum. So inferior one is formed conjointly by ependymal cells there. I told you we do not have tissue as such. There you see what are you finding? Pia matter.
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Screen is stuck also.
Is it same with everyone, madam? Emma? Can you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you, ma'am.
Can't hear me?
Yes.
Okay, but so now see in the roof, I told you this is superior medullary velum we have, which is the white matter here, whereas in inferior medullary velum we have only pia matter. And here we have a network of capillaries which is choroid plexus. Okay. Then see, the inferior medullary velum is a thin sheet of non-nervous tissue that covers this lower violet colored area is all the inferior medullary velum. Okay, so that is covering posteriorly. This is all roof. So it is intimately this whatever areas which are shown in brown color, these are the areas of cerebellum which are is in close connection with the roof of fourth ventricle. So the upper part of the superior medullary velum is related to lingula, whereas this part, the inferior medullary velum, is related to nodule part of cerebellum. Okay, so both these areas are, we see in the vermis. Now, which is vermis? Show you quickly. Picture was there. No? This area is vermis. Okay, in the cerebellum. This whole thing from superior to inferior aspect. This is superior aspect. This is inferior aspect. Everything is vermis. Okay. After this, what do we have? So this whole thing, whatever we are seeing, is roof only. Okay. So the roof we are finding already we have studied also. There is one midline aperture foramen of Magendie seen in the lower part of inferior medullary velum here. Okay, through which the cavity of the fourth ventricle is communicating with subarachnoid space. Okay, and the cistern. Cistern means extra spaces of subarachnoid space. Cisterns means the large spaces of subarachnoid matter where relatively large amount of CSF is enclosed. Those areas are called as cisterns. Now, because this is present between the cerebellum and medulla oblongata, the name of this cistern is cerebellomedullary cistern, also called as cisterna magna. It can be itself as 3 marks question. Okay, large subarachnoid spaces enclosing more CSF is called cistern. Now, between the cerebellum and medulla, this enlarged area you call it as cerebellomedullary cistern or cisterna magna. That means the CSF in the fourth ventricle is communicating into this cisterna magna via foramen of Magendie. Okay. So this is all roof only. The upper superior medullary velum, inferior medullary velum, median aperture, 2 lateral apertures. Okay. Now what are tela choroidea? Double layered fold of pyomatter. We generally suppose this is pyomatter. Okay, so they just get folded. Okay, so the double layered fold of pyomatter is nothing but tela choroidea. Okay. So all these details are not required. Choroid plexus means what? We are finding the capillary network within this tela choroidea, in fact, which are actually choroid plexus. Okay, nearby blood vessels will be contributing for the formation of this capillary network. In fourth ventricle, the choroid plexus is contributed by posterior inferior cerebellar arteries. Okay, pica, you can remember in the shortcut. Okay. So see what did I say? The blood is coming under high pressure in the capillaries, isn't it? So the same high pressure blood, because of high pressure, you will see it gets filtered and then it is entering into the ventricular system. Okay. Now this choroid plexus is T-shaped, projects into the cavity through the lower part of the roof. This is the vertical limb with foramen of Magendie. This is the horizontal limb. On each side it has an opening, that is a foramen of Lushkin. Isn't it? Now, floor of fourth ventricle itself can be a 5 marks question, very popular question, favorite question of the examiners. So how is the floor formed? The upper half of the floor is contributed by pons, lower half of the floor is contributed by medulla oblongata. Okay, so the posterior surface of the pons and the posterior surface of the medulla is forming the floor. Now floor, what is the shape? It is diamond shape and it is divisible into 3 parts. Now, what are those? Upper part is pons, lower is the triangular part. Now we will see what are the various. You should know the details of these. There is a partition, we will go in order only. Without animation, I'll show you first. See, this is the upper part, this is the lower part, and this is the intermediate part. Now you should draw exactly the same picture and label it. What are we finding? You are finding the cochlear nerve,